If you're looking into getting into streaming or YouTube, finding a solid budget build for a mic is probably the best way you can start. Today we're looking at the Fifine KS5 streaming bundle, which includes the AM8 dynamic microphone and the SC3 4-channel audio mixer. Now, full disclosure, I was asked to review this bundle, but that doesn't change how I test things or how I'm going to review it. One of the biggest traps that it's easy to fall into is to think that you're going to have to spend hundreds or even $1,000s on a high-end microphone or mixing board, and then think that you're just going to have high-quality professional audio right out of the box. That's not really going to happen. It still takes quite a bit of work in the background and post-processing to really get that sound down. This is something I have struggled with because it's not easy. But a setup like this gets your foot in the door and saves you money so that you can buy other gear or find the right software to get your audio sounding exactly how you want it to. Now, it's not perfect. No microphone is, and every mic reacts differently to every voice. But from a pure audio standpoint, the quality and the features you get for this price are kind of crazy. This bundle is right around $100, and you get a microphone and the mixer along with the XLR cable and several other cables to go with it. And that's going to set you up for quite a while. So, for context, I am in a completely untreated room. I have no acoustic panels, no soundproofing, nothing. And I also usually have a fan running because it's the South and it's hot. This is a dynamic microphone with a standard cardioid polar pattern, and it helps to kill a lot of that room echo and reverb. If there was one upgrade for it that I would choose, that would be to go with a hypercardioid. That is because it will pretty much eliminate all of the background noise that can come in, at least from behind the microphone. And I know this because I used a hypercardioid mic when I was playing music, and it is amazing how good it can be at noise reduction. So, you're still going to have a little bit of that room tone, but it's infinitely better than a condenser mic. Now, I also own a SteelSeries Alias condenser mic, and that thing is so sensitive that it can hear a flea fart from 2 rooms down. Without heavy noise reduction systems in place, a condenser in a bedroom is just way too much and pretty much unusable. One of the things that really helps make this a great bundle is the fact that the AM8 is USB and XLR. If you're going to take the mic on the go, all you have to do is just grab a USB-C cable, throw it in your bag, plug it straight into a laptop, and you're going to have good audio. But when you're sitting at your desk, you get that little mixer that lets you run XLR. And XLR is a bigger advantage than most people even realize, because it's going to give you consistent audio levels every single time you sit down and just turn it on. The SC3 mixer provides up to 50 decibels of physical gain, which is plenty without needing an external cloud lifter or preamp. You don't have to fight with any software, you just adjust the volume on the mixer and that's it. Now, one of the best ways to test a microphone, of course, is to see how it picks up a voice without any post-processing, and with it. So, let's run a vocal test using lyrics from one of history's greatest wordsmiths. I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. Now, when you sit back and you listen to both of those, the raw sound quality is really good. And even between USB and XLR, it's pretty close. The USB does have a slight lack of output power compared to running it through the mixer, which most people aren't even going to notice because it's that small of a difference. Now, when you compare the raw audio to the post-processed audio, you're going to notice a much bigger difference because no matter what microphone you use, you need post-processing and plugins. At a minimum, you need to at least have a limiter and a compressor in your audio track, or it's just not going to be loud enough. Unless you crank the gain to maximum, which you should never do, because that's just going to introduce more background noise to it. The best approach for gain staging is to set your input level so that your voice peaks around negative 12 decibels inside of your DAW. That leaves you with plenty of headroom. And it just so happens that with this microphone and mixer setup, if you're adjusting the volume, it usually seems to be right there at the point where it shifts from green to orange. So that makes it a lot easier to get that set up with no real issues. Then all you have to do is just normalize the track back up to your target level in post-production. Alright, so for me, clipping is a real issue. Not just with this mic, but with pretty much every single microphone. It's kind of one of those things that happens if you have a more powerful voice. This does take a little bit of explaining. Microphones have this thing called SPL, which is sound pressure level. And that doesn't just mean how loud of a volume it can handle. It's a measurement of the physical air pressure. Now, if you push past that rated air pressure level, the microphone won't necessarily clip, but it will be overdriven. Most people aren't going to have an issue with that, but I do. The AM8 has a pretty high SP level at 120 decibels, which is more than enough for most people. but I can clip every single mic that I have. I have an Audio-Technica 2100X, and I clip it. I clip the SteelSeries, and I can clip this one. But there is a way to help reduce that, and it comes down to microphone placement. Fifine recommends using about 2 to 6 inches away from the capsule. I would say go with the full 6 inches, which is about the length of the microphone itself. This is a great way to do it as well. Just the good old Ninja Turtles and Cowabunga symbol. Put that at the corner of your mouth and reach it out to the microphone. And make sure you have it off axis. One reason, if you get too close to a microphone, it will tend to distort and you get a lot of that proximity effect. You can get closer and it gets a lot louder and deeper, but if you accidentally get too loud, you're going to clip it. Now, when I say off axis, you have to use your head as a center point. Move it to the side, point the capsule at the corner of your mouth, and speak past it. Just try to keep the mic in your peripheral. You don't want to get it too far out of the way because then you're just going to start losing some of that tone and quality. And this is going to protect you if you have a forceful gust of air from your mouth, or if you're like me with a southern accent, some reason hitting those I sounds. Really love to clip microphones as well. And it just helps to keep all that from blowing directly into the capsule. This is also one of the reasons when you watch footage of powerful singers like Freddie Mercury, you see them holding the mic far away, and that's even on stage. Now you compare that to metal vocalists who cup their hands around the grill and shove it right down their throat. They are forcing artificial distortion. Powerful voice doesn't need to fake it. That raw air pressure will naturally push that capsule. As far as construction goes, the AM8 is pretty durable. I wouldn't suggest you go around juggling it because it is a plastic casing, but the included desk stand is heavy enough and it keeps the mic from tipping over. Even though the casing is plastic, the capsule itself is protected by a metal cage, and it does come with a molded foam windscreen. And one of the things I really like is that you're not really limited by the USB mode either. You get a capacitive mute button, a physical gain control dial, and built-in mic monitoring, and of course, RGB. Now as for the mixer, it does have a lot of utility. It has a 48 volt phantom power for studio condenser mics, along with a physical toggle switch on the back to swap between dynamic and condenser. It also has some pretty goofy fun features, like a voice changer and electric auto tune. The voice changer is a bit crazy.
As you can see, it changes things up.
Got some weird ones.
How
about this one?
Okay, see, they're all a little bit different.
Very odd, but can be fun. The frequency response of the microphone is about 50 Hz to 16 kHz. Now if you're worried about plosive, which is when you say a P or a B sound, sticking to that 45 degrees off-axis placement will help with that. Or if you want to eliminate it mostly entirely, get yourself an attachable metal windscreen. And luckily, because it's cheap enough, you can afford to. Now, because you're streaming, chances are you're going to have a loud keyboard, or if you're playing on Xbox, you definitely got a loud controller. Most microphones are just going to fail on a typing test. They just do. Most people are going to tell you to get a noise gate and just fix it that way, but I don't really recommend that. A standard noise gate is a blunt instrument. If you speak a little too softly during a tense moment in game, the gate is just going to cut your voice out completely. Instead, you want noise cancellation, which actively strips the background noise while leaving your voice pretty much untouched. If you want the absolute best premium paid solution for this, I highly recommend a plugin called Supertone Clear. It's basically magic. And if you want an instant win for free, download the SteelSeries GG app. You don't need to own a SteelSeries mic to use it, and their Sonar software works with any microphone out there. It has a built-in feature called ClearCast AI noise cancellation, and it is great for removing room noises. It even has preset EQs, and you can make your own EQ setup with it. And it even comes with a compressor, so it really helps boost the volume if you need that as well. Now, if there's any two plugins that I do recommend you need, it's the TDR Nova for a dynamic EQ and Wave Breaker. With those, you are set. You have a professional audio stack ready to go. So to wrap things up, I want to give a big thank you to Fifine for reaching out and sending this over. Prior to this, I didn't have a hardware mixer in my setup, and every time Windows ran an update, it would mess up my software, volume levels. With a mixer, it's just set it and forget it. I'm also impressed with the raw audio quality in terms of tone. It's voiced like a traditional dynamic broadcast microphone, and it sounds very natural to me. Overall, I think this is an incredible microphone setup for this price. Now, is this going to be your final mic or the only one you're ever going to need or want? Probably not, but the sound quality you get for this price is hard to beat. So the Fifine KS5 bundle gets my play rating. If you want to check it out, there's a link down in the description. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all later. And if you want to see how big of an improvement it is, check out some of my older videos.